So, last time we heard the story of Rabia, the master, the women master who lived in Himalayan state, and a guy reached there 1,000 miles away. In those days, it used to take months together to find an answer, who am I? So when we contemplate and reflect on that story, we realize that we are too far from ourselves. We are too far. We claim this is my life, this is my house, this is my honey, but normally at the mental level, we are too far from ourselves. Those who are too far from ourselves, nothing can be achieved. My master introduced me to another master in becoming when I was young. I'm still young, but don't go by the gray beard. So he was having two pairs of the clothes, and he was living near the Ganges River in a small cottage. And he has a big sign on the door. Do not come empty-handed. Now start thinking. People feel that, how greedy he is. So every day in the evening, he collected some of the coins people used to throw in front of the cottage. He used to collect it and threw into the Ganges River. Because he normally, in monasteries and ashrams in India, you get 3 meals free. You need not to worry about it. And you can build a cottage near the Ganges River, and ultimately you can continue your practices to reach to the ultimate. So I asked that why this? I don't want to meet non-seekers. That is why I have put the signboard. Those who do not want to give their all the thoughts that makes them crazy, they are not the seekers. They want to hold on to those thoughts. Oh, it happened yesterday. I think Sam and we were talking, Sam and Stephen were talking. So this guy I'm coaching, he said, I want to be like you. Very good. Want to be like you. So I should not say anything. Why you want to be like me? You want to be like yourself. But anyhow, so he called me and he said, I'm becoming late. I read the message. I said, it's okay. Then 10 minutes passed. Then he called me. It happened, They both were listening. So, oh, sorry. I'm very sorry. From where this sorry comes, can we shift our session? You have a ticket to go to New Jersey and you call the airport, hey, how are you doing? Kindly hold the plane. I want to fly tomorrow. We don't realize this. We don't realize this. So we think that we are very serious, but we don't realize it. The life is passing by. So whether it's the Buddha or any master, they say, do I have an urgency? No, I want to find my real self. The real journey begins. So the last week, we have an equation. Happiness is equal to I am. That is realization. Thought that I am happiness, I am peace, I am love, I am. Can you just think of it? When you say I am happiness, can you react? You have to think, you have to contemplate, you have to absorb, you have to assimilate that knowledge. Think, I am peace. Is there any reason to react, to this guy? He said, no, I'm coming after 10 minutes after. Okay, very good. Oh, Girish, I have been totally held up, in doing some cable work in the television. You should have done it before. You should be ready. But why should I say this? That is your nature, that is your attitude. But when you become a seeker, then I will definitely say. So pay attention to this. Happiness is equal to I am happiness, I am peace. That is the journey of the self-discovery, my friends. Can you say every day in the morning, I'm happiness? So now you look at your honey. You are ready to express your peace and happiness, come what may, in your profession. And when the happiness is equal to I am plus object, there is a false sign. I am plus person, I am plus object, I am plus event. We are gone. With that introduction, now we are coming to what exactly is the real self. And we have been reflecting on that the real self is other than the three bodies. The real self is other than. We don't say that they are not required. We say the real self is other than the three bodies. We use them. The real self is other than the five sheet. The real self is other than the three states that we witness. And now we understand. So in one sentence in Sanskrit, it says Thula Sukshma Karana Shariradi Vyaktiriktaha Panchakoshatitah San Avasthatrayi Sakshi. Now he gives the definition of real self. It is always good to filter out what I am not. We do it every day. We filter out all the houses we reach to our house. We filter out when our car is parked in the parking lot. We filter out all the cars. Oh, where is our car? Okay. Then you press and then you find your car. I hope you. Oh, where is my honey? So we don't do that. So here the master says, simple, he says it is SatChitAnanda. Real self is SatChitAnanda. English translation, absolute truth, if I say, absolute truth, consciousness, bliss. Don't take your mind when you hear bliss to any objective pleasure. It is permanent happiness. That's why I have changed that, So now understand the three words. Before we understand the three words, it is good to understand SatChitAnanda presents one real self. It is not three. How can you say that? How can you say that? Simple, simple way. Stephen is here. It is his name. Stephen is a man. Stephen does his business. But ultimately, all are pointing to one Stephen. There are not three. That is what three words represents. So first word, take the first word, Sat. Sat means the truth, or it means existence. Sat Chit Anand. Absolute existence, consciousness, bliss. So now the master is asking the question and answering the question. So what is this Sat? What is this existence? What is this truth? In this SatChitAnanda, in these three words. Sat is truth or existence. That Sat is, now see, another definition, another understanding. This word Sat is beyond three periods of time: past, present, and tomorrow. The self is the beyond three periods of time and is changeless. It has no future, no past. Whatever happens, it happens here and now. Whatever happens, it happens here and now. Time is created by the mind. Time is created by the mind, and we are not the mind. That is what the truth is. Think of this. Contemplate and reflect. That I am is always present with the change of form, weight, height of these three bodies and the five sheet. That I am is always there. 5 years old, I said I am. 10 years old, I said I am. Now I still say I am. So that I am bypasses the time. So that is why the master used these three phrases. Three words, not three phrases. SatChitAnanda, existence. Self is unchanging identity that dwells within and beyond the three bodies, five sheet, and three states. So when you bring them all together, what is the indirect definition and the direct definition, then we understand that in time, the three bodies and the five sheet exist. But I'm beyond time. Self never changes. What is non-self is constantly changing. Self is timeless. It's a simultaneous awareness of timelessness in time. The moment the mind is looking outside, I see I have to start the session at 8. But inside, I have that awareness which lives in timelessness. That is the first way to define that real self. So because we experience that state of timelessness in science, let me rephrase it. We experience the timelessness in silence. That is why we say empty the mind completely in order to experience that self. It is a simultaneous awareness of timelessness in time. Now, we will expand it further. Now, the second word is what is chit? So, that chit is, it is a thoughtless awareness that I am. Have you ever reflected on it? You don't think anything, no thought at all. Do you have that awareness that I am? I exist? You need not to think, but still you know that you are. You are. We are. So one is that existence, and the other is conscious. I'm conscious of that. I am, and I know that I am. Did you get it? I know. I am existence. And now I know because of the consciousness that I am is the chit, is the second word. You can compare it, I think, therefore I am. Or I am, therefore I think. I am, therefore I am aware. I am, therefore I think I exist. And this awareness is always present in us. Always. All the time, 24/7. So it bypasses the time. Light goes off and there is a total darkness. You cannot make out whether other persons are present or not, but there is no doubt you are present in that darkness. You know I am. I am present. I am present. This I am is consciousness, and this I am is existence at the same time. I give an example of this statement. The self is the knowledge and consciousness together. Why it is the knowledge and consciousness? We have to argue, we have to ask the question at every time. Why the self is knowledge and consciousness together? Very consciousness is the knowledge. And the very consciousness is the existence. So that is why the master uses the two words, Sat and Chit. Sat means truth, or you can say existence, plus I am aware of that existence, which is truth. So existence and consciousness is the self. No worries if you do not understand. I'm going to expand it further. It is better than gossiping. We enjoy gossiping. So self is equal to existence plus consciousness. Now comes the third word, that is known as bliss. Bliss means a continued state of happiness. It is the very nature of the real self. It is of the nature of continued happiness. You are angry outside, but the continued state of the happiness is present inside. You are frustrated, but the happiness is still present inside. So why I can't see it? Because I don't know it. Why I don't know it? Because I'm ignorant of my real nature. Another reason why I'm ignorant of the real nature, because I find happiness is outside. So now say, pay attention. I am. I know I am. I know I am happiness. When? Here and now. I am existence. I know I am consciousness. I know I am peace and happiness. Let me rephrase it. I am, and therefore I exist. I know that I am, and I'm blissfully aware that I am. But there is one problem. The moment our mind starts thinking, I want to bring this real self in front of me to realize that, not possible. That is what the science is. Science always wants to bring any object that it wants to know in front of itself. Now think for a while. So non-seeker cannot understand this, but the seeker understands. What do you mean? I want to bring the real self in front of me. What did I say? Did you understand? I want to bring the real self in front of me. There are two eyes. So which one is the real? The real self in front of me or the real self here? Who is pointing here is the real self. So who created this duality? Mind. Why it created the duality? Mind has created the duality because of ignorance. What is the goal of the entire Eastern wisdom? To remove the ignorance. Do you see that? So that is why we have to learn. I will go deeper in the following sessions and we will explore. An example of a rose flower. Rose is a fragrant to smell, red in color, and soft to feel. The three aspects of the real self is like that. The three aspects of smell, color, and the touch are meant to describe the same rose. So whether you say it is only, you can say when we say it is existence, it means all the three. Whether you say it is pure consciousness, it means all the three. Whether we say it is a permanent happiness, it means that we are indicating, pointing to the same real self. Think of this. Contemplate and reflect. Another point of our masters says that real self is self-aware. Mind is not self-aware. In deep sleep, you already know it. Mind is not self-aware. It borrows the consciousness from the mind it borrows the consciousness from the real self. Then it says it is the waking state. Then it realizes it's a dream state. But in sleep state, nothing happens. So now go opposite to that. The real self is self-luminous, self-effulgent. If I translate into English, it is self-effulgent. What do you mean by self-effulgent? That very real self knows the real self by the real self. Mind is not required. The moment the mind wants to know, it divides into three. Make it very simple. I know Terry. So this Terry word or the person is reflected in the mind. When I say I know, this I is also reflected in the mind. And the knowledge of Terry is also reflected in the mind. Divides into three. mind divides into three in knowing anything of the world. And in that division, we cannot know the real self. That is why we have to transcend the mind. That is why we have to empty the mind. That is why we have to, we can use different words. We can enter into the state of silence. That is why we have to move the mind within. We all are awakened now. It takes time. Knowledge is realized in stages. You have heard from me many a times. Knowledge is realized in stages. Step by step, we remove the ignorance. And please check, are you changing your behavior and attitude every day? Why? Because that mind will calm down. That mind will not run after the things and objects which causes stress, dualities, conflict, and anxiety. You should find the change in your behavior, in your attitude, in your personality. It should happen from the day one. And you should be able to increase your level of self-awareness even 1% in every session. It will become 100%. It is not only one session is enough. So what is going to happen then? You start thinking, speaking, and acting with reference to the real self all the time. There are other conversations. I forgot, I recalled a couple of things yesterday with this guy. I want to be like you. I said, Mr. Okay. And then, oh, Girish, it has been 10 minutes, I promised you. And then he said, the cable guy is there. I said, no problem. No problem. So I also told him that we are completing the book that gives you the entire journey of the Eastern wisdom, and you can be like me. But one condition. I think that is what we talked, I remember now. So what is the condition? The book will cost $25, but I will charge you $50. Because that gives you all the secrets. I know I'm going to give him send him the book, especially to my house students. No, I cannot afford it. So you can afford to change the session 3 times. Pick up the mind. That mind must have a right value. It is totally committed and sincere to find my real self. So that was a pointer. I gave just a point. It has nothing to do with the money or the book or anything else. But when you move in that linear fashion, pushed by the mind, discovery of the real self is too far. I pointed out. Think of it. Close your eyes. Let us start our journey. Eyes are closed, my friends, and the body is steady. How far your body